So after, things got hot and heavy on that date, the date, he starts hanging out with me more because, like I said, I had my own place. He had his own place at the time. But at the time that he had his place, he was living with his mom. Well, I guess technically she was living with him. They used to go back and forth about that. But he was living with his mom at the time, but he was still, had free reign to do what he wanted to do. Um, we started hanging out more. He started hanging out at my house more, and then I started to introduce him to my friends, and they thought he was cool at first, but then the behavior started to shift. And this is when some of the red flags started to show up because also he was 4 years older than me at the time. At the time I'm 21, he was 25. Um, so he's a lot older, and I guess he felt like maybe my friends were a bad influence on me, but that was just a way to like isolate me from people. Because like my two best friends at the time, they used to always come to my house. Sometimes they would come unannounced, and he actually started to feel some type of way about that. And me being me, it was just he would say it to me in a way that would make it seem like, oh, my friends are being disrespectful towards me by just popping up, and they know I have a boyfriend and that he's around, and he just felt like I should be more strict about who comes over to my house. But yeah, he just felt threatened by them in a weird way. So after a while, I started to hang out with my friends less and less, and they started to come over less and less. Mind you, like I said, I'm still in college. I was still in my college town, so I also have male friends as well that used to come to my house and just chill or whatever. I like to cook, so sometimes I would cook, and my friends would come over, and we would just eat. He did not like that. He did not like that. He did not take very well to me having male friends. And yes, I had some male friends that I had relations with, but of course, this is college. Like, we were all still cool at the end of the day. But he did not like that. He didn't even like the male friends I had that I wasn't sexually involved with. Like, genuinely just good friends. He did not like it at all. And at some point, like, I started losing friendships and connections because of that. Like, I started becoming more and more isolated. But how he manipulated the situation, he tried to make it seem like, oh, I was the one just being disrespectful, and how could I just allow these people to be around, and he's my boyfriend, and you know I should care more about how he feels than the comfort of like having friends. And me being so young at the time, I was just like, wow, you're like kind of agreeing with him, like, yeah, I could like not have people come over as much, you're right. And I actually started to isolate myself from people that were genuinely caring about me. And then once that started to happen, that's when more of the abusive behavior started to happen. Like the yelling, the screaming, I remember one time we were in the kitchen. I can't even remember what we were arguing about. And he was doing something, and I picked up my phone to look at it, and he got mad, snatched the phone, and threw it across the room. It caused put a dent in the wall. I was just so shocked. Like that moment, I was just so shocked. Like I didn't even know what to do. I was like, I just cannot believe he just threw my phone right now. I'm like, and people all the time always wonder, like, well, why didn't you leave after like the first instances you see of abuse or violence? It's just like fight or flight is really real. Like I was just stuck, really. Like I just could not believe like this was happening. And then like from that moment, in that moment, you're just stuck. You're not really sure what to do because you're so afraid. It's just like, do you instantly try to get out of it, or do you have hope that it'll change, that the behavior wouldn't continue, that was just maybe, okay, we just got into a heated argument and he just, whatever. But no, the behavior still continued on. It wasn't even just always physical abuse with him. It was verbal abuse, emotional abuse. Like, I remember at one moment, he actually decided that he would cheat on me because he felt like one of the male friends that I had, we were too close, or that I was spending too much time with him, or that I might have cheated on him with that male friend. And so his reaction is to cheat on me. And we get into a whole big blowout about it. And at first, he wasn't really remorseful. And I'm just like, you take your feelings of feeling like you're being cheated on and go and cheat on me in retaliation. And it's like, even from there, I should have left still because I could not trust him after that. But it was just like, I don't know. He just had my mind so warped into thinking like him cheating was my fault. And it was just like, after that, it just seemed like I was more so trying to fight for the relationship to work, because he tried to apologize afterwards for cheating on me, but his behavior still didn't really change. Like, he was good for like a week, maybe a week and a half. Like, oh yeah, I deleted her number. Like, I'm not going to talk to her anymore. Or you can have the passcode to my phone. That only lasted about a week or two. And then it goes back to a code being back on his phone. I think he changed her name in his phone to something else, but he was still communicating with her. And it was just a lot. Like, there were so many times where I was like, yes, I should have left and I should have gotten out, especially when we had a big blowout. Like, at this point, I don't even remember what it was about. I think he was just going through like a jealous spell. I think I had spoke to somebody that he didn't like, or he just thought I was doing something with somebody. And we're getting into an argument in the house. And I was being petty. I ended up locking him out because I had a back door. I ended up locking him out on the back door, and he heard me lock it, but before he came back inside, I unlocked the door, but he didn't hear me unlock it. So he got mad because he was talking on the phone to somebody. He got mad and was like, oh, this B locked me out the house. I'm finna go whoop her. And I'm just like, wow. So he actually kicks open the door and then like comes at me and was just like, oh, so you must want to fight. And I'm like, no, I'm not really trying to fight you, but if that's what you're trying to do, we can fight. So he legit was like squaring up with me, and I'm like, you were really trying to fight me? He was like, yeah, put on some sneakers, we finna fight. And I'm like, you're so serious right now. He was like, yeah, I'm finna fight you. And then he ends up slapping me. So I'm like, wow. Wow. I'm like, he's really serious about fighting me right now. Like, so in the best of my abilities, like, he slapped me. I got stunned for a second. And then I just try to, I guess, rush him or whatever. But then he ends up like tackling me on the couch. And then he kind of has me like hemmed up on the couch. And then he was threatening to like punch me in my stomach. But for whatever reason, I don't know why he decided not to. He didn't. But he pulls me off the couch, and then like we're just tussling through the house. While he was on the phone, I guess he was actually still on the phone when all this was happening. So I guess the person on the phone that was hearing everything ended up coming to my house. Luckily, they came when they did, because at the time that they showed up, he had me pinned up against the wall and was choking me. And in that moment, I really thought it was over. Like, that feeling of really feeling like you cannot breathe, like somebody is really, like, I couldn't breathe, and I really was like, oh my God, how am I going to get out of this? Like, is this it? Is this the end? But luckily, the person that was on the phone came in the door at that time and pulled him off of me. Well, they tried to pull him off of me, but I'm so small. He was bigger than me. He like had me on the wall and then like I guess kind of tackled me to the ground and was still trying to choke me while the person was trying to pull him off of me. But luckily, they got him in time, so I was able to get out of that instance. By the grace of God, I don't know how, but even still, after that fight, I still stuck around because I don't know. He used to talk a good game, like, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna do it anymore. Things will change, and yeah, I'm not gonna hit you." But I don't know. The situation just kept on escalating. Like the behavior would not get better. Like the behavior would just get worse sometimes, and he had his own, just seemed like he had his own demons that he was dealing with. I don't know if he had still traumas from being in prison or just childhood trauma, but the behavior just kept continuing on. And yeah, I just kept ignoring the red flags. And at that point, with me ignoring the red flags, I just felt like I'm getting deeper and deeper into this. It's just like, how do I even ask for help? Do I ask for help? Who's going to help me? Like, and at the time, I'm in a different state from my family, and I didn't let my family know anything either, because there's just this shame that comes with it too, that you even allowed yourself to get into the situation of somebody being abusive to you. And it's just, while you're in it, it just seems like it's impossible to get out, because it's like you're also in the midst of you wanting to get out. You don't want to anger the person either, because you don't know what they're going to do. And he had some very spontaneous behavior. Like, after that fight incident, it was really like, I don't know what else he's going to do. And then at some point, he gets trying to tread lightly on how I deal with him, how I'm speaking to him. We would still get into arguments, and yeah, that weapon would be used as a means to, like, break me down pretty much. There were times where we would still get into arguments, and he decided to take a bottle, put it to my head, like, oh, if you don't listen to me, I'm gonna crack this upside your head, and then end up cracking the bottle anyway. And then before he left the house, because he broke the bottle and then told me to clean it up, and then walked out the house, and then went and did God knows what after that for a few hours. But being in this situation, because I always used to look at other domestic disputes like, oh, how do you even let yourself get into a situation like that? And when I found myself in it, it's just like, this happened. It happened so fast. The isolation happens fast. The switch from the nice guy to the bad behavior happens so fast. And it's just like, it messes with your psyche so much, because in some instances you want to take the blame, and it's like, what are you doing so bad to this person to make them react this way? So it's almost as if like you want to do good so they can treat you good, but then it's just like, it's just something bad in them. Like, there's something just not right in a person to want to abuse you like that. Like, they don't really love you if they abuse you like that. And it's crazy how it took a few months for me to realize that. But there was an instance where he was claiming that he was going to move out my house, but it was just a bluff, like he always did. And then he couldn't find something, and he swore up and down that I hid it or I took it. And we get into this whole argument, And at the time, I had a car, and me being stupid, I ended up giving him a spare key to my car. So he ends up tries to go in my car and tries to run off with my car. But luckily, I get in the car before he can go. So now we're in my car arguing. He's driving. He pulls over on the side of the road, like kind of next to a field. And he was threatening to throw my keys because I didn't have my set of keys with me. He had his set of keys. He was threatening to throw my keys, so then there'll be no key to get back in the car. He was trying to throw my keys in the film. I'm like, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. And the minute that he was about to throw my keys, thank God a cop had seen it. A cop had seen us on the side of the road arguing and decided to make a U-turn and pull back around and pulled up to us like, hey, is everything okay? And I'm like, no, he's arguing with me. He's trying to throw my keys. Please tell him don't throw my keys. Like, please tell him do not throw my keys. This is my car. He does not have the right to do this. And luckily, the cop was on my side. He was like, sir, please, like, don't throw her keys. Like, just get back in the car and, try to handle this more civilly. And he was still trying to be irate, but then he ended up calming down. He gave me the keys. And I think he ended up walking back to the house. I didn't even drive with him back to the house because, no. Ended up going back to the house. And then at that point, I was just like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get out this situation? Like, if this man can really do all of this, still be irate in front of a police officer, what else is there for me to do? And even in that instance, the police couldn't even do anything. So, look, at the time, the cop helped a little bit, but yeah, this man was still coming back to my house at the end of the day. So, I just felt at some moments helpless. Like, how do I get out of this situation?